All right, it's Sunday. You know what that means? It is another Scotch Sunday. It's Mark here again, and this week we're going to have another one. You know what? I think we need a little jingle. Scotch Sunday, Scotch Sunday. I don't know, man. If someone can write me a jingle. All right. So anyway, we'll do Scotch Sunday today. Glad you're all here. Appreciate it. So anyway, today we are going to sample the Dalmore Portwood Reserve. This is now part of their core line. It is an NAS 46 ABV, and it is a Highland single malt Scotch, and I believe it is 46.5 ABV. As you can see, the color. I remembered a piece of paper today, so you can see the color. Kind of dark, kind of what you might expect from port, but they also use sherry. Normally, most of their finishings use sherry, but this one is half is done in bourbon and half is done in tawny port and combined together and to create this reserve. The Dalmore is founded in 1839. In 1917, during World War One, the British Royal Navy opened basically like a testing site right next door for testing deep sea mines. And in 1920, there was an explosion and destroyed a significant portion of the distillery. And of course, then it had to be rebuilt. During the early years, Dalmore was really just establishing just kind of itself. Until I guess maybe they didn't do a lot. They were a cheaper brand, and I think sent a lot of their stuff to blends, but now they've started establishing their single malt line. They have a 12, 15, 18, 25 Portwood, the Cigar Malt, and the King Alexander. And the King Alexander, interesting story on the King Alexander. Back in 1263, the King Alexander III was attacked by a stag, and he was saved by Colin of Kingtail. And as a result of being rewarded, this Colin of Kingtail was deeded some land, and he was also granted the right to use the stag in his coat of arms. And so, in the land where this occurred is in the area there in the Highlands, off the river, near the river Alness, which is actually strangely a saltwater river. The river flows the water comes from one of the locks nearby, and it is actually a saltwater river. And the water from that river is what's used to make the Dalmore. So kind of strange, but this is done in tawny port pipes, and I had to kind of look up what port pipes were. It's actually a barrel that's about half the size of a ton, T-U-N. I had to look up that pronunciation because I didn't know if that was ton or tune or whatever. And it's so a port pipe is half the size of a ton, and it's about 142 gallons roughly is what fits in that. And a ton is actually twice the size of a hogshead. So you have these different names. It just kind of dictates more the size of the barrels. I know that sometimes the shapes are a little different, but for the most part, it just has to do with the size. Let's see, what else can I tell you? And let's see, what else? Oh, the distillery itself has 4 wash and 4 spirit stills. The stills are not all the same size, so I think two are the same size, and the other stills are different size. They use a system where I think the evaporation is more along a pipe, more horizontal distillation and evaporation, and as opposed to stills where it's more vertical. Okay, so gotta read you the box. Okay. So, I'll read the back of the bottle first. The Dalmore Port Reserve is a special assemblage of whiskey matured in American white oak ex-bourbon barrels, which then finessed by aged tawny port pipes. Hand selected from W&J's, which is Whitman and something, whatever their name is, Graham's Vineyard in Portugal. A majestic and refined single malt with flavors of rich plums, orange, coffee, and sweet cherry. Okay. All right, so here is the box. I had put this away. I had to go dig it out so I could read it to you because I care. The Dalmore's heritage dates back to 1263, and it was this year that Colin of Kintail, chief of the Clan Mackenzie, saved King Alexander III from the fury of a charging stag. In recognition of his role in the act, the king granted the Mackenzie clan the right to use a 12-pointed stag emblem on their coat of arms. When the descendants of the clan became owners of the Dalmore distillery, the royal stag became a recognized icon that proudly adorns each bottle of the Dalmore today. At the Dalmore, we have a tradition of pioneering new standards when maturing our whiskeys. We benefit from a 175-year-old artisan process that has been refined over 2 centuries to enhance the style and flavor of our whiskeys. Our unique, large Bullabum stills produce a full-flavored and highly complex spirit, which is then enriched over time in the finest casks, many available only to the Dalmore, and hand-selected by our master distiller, Richard Patterson. The Dalmore Port Reserve is a special assemblage of whiskeys matured in American white oak ex-bourbon and finessed in aged tawny port pipes, hand-selected from W&J Graham's Vineyard in Portugal, purposefully retained at 46.5 ABV, the complement to enhancing warm flavors of the port and the classic taste of the Dalmore to create a whiskey which is indulgent, smooth, and complex. All right, so, okay, smells a little pruny on there. Okay. Give the bottle of the glass a little turn. Okay. All right, so let's see what we got here. Plums, prunes, some berries like dark berries like blackberries or mulberries. It's a little bit of orange. Kind of grapes really come through, of course, from the port, I'm sure. A little bit of caramel, maybe? Toffee? Really, the grapes and the plums and prunes are really what kind of I smell a lot of. Okay. Yeah. A lot of fruit. Some coffee and toffee comes through. Let's see. Unfortunately, I just had a salad with onions on it. It's kind of messing up my taste right here. Maybe apricots. Yeah, I think apricot would be kind of what I'm getting in there. What else? Let's see if it smells any changed any. Yeah, little more toffee coming through now. some of that oak is coming through. Yeah, oak and maybe a little bit of caramel. So yeah, it's finishing pretty nice, and yeah, that's kind of good. It's kind of a so anyway. That's my taste notes on that. I don't want to drag these out. I'm already past 10 minutes. I'm trying to keep. I want to try and shoot for below 8, but anyway. So it's a Dalmore. It's kind of high priced for it. I know they're trying to boost their market and their age up there, so I think they're at about, this is probably in the mid 60s, probably about 65 or so. But anyway, there you go. And you have it. We'll see you next Sunday. Bye.